I don't like, it's just abuse after abuse, and it gets worse every time. I'm afraid for my life. I have to have somebody at my house all the time. His wife was just murdered from domestic violence. So
Where was that?
Chelsea Waller.
Oh my. Okay.
Welcome back to another intense courtroom breakdown. Today's case exposes a domestic violence plea deal gone wrong, missing evidence, and a judge visibly frustrated by failures in prosecution. Serious injuries, a troubling history, and a victim finally heard. Subscribe, like, and share for more real courtroom moments and dramatic legal accountability you won't want to miss.
File number is 241082FY. Let me click into this one. Spent some time looking at this one. I was here last Friday, looked at it again this morning. Mr. Felt was quite proactive, trying to make sure that I had all the information I needed. I was hopeful that the prosecutor would be here to provide some input, but they're not. The allegation is that on April 20th of this year, that Nicholas Maciosi did make an assault with intent to commit great bodily harm on Samantha Wells by strangulation or suffocation, a 10-year felony offense, also charged with domestic violence, and as charged as a habitual offender, fourth offense, making that assault case punishable by up to life imprisonment. Prosecutor reduced this matter to a misdemeanor. The time of the pre-exam conference reduced to aggravated domestic assault by plea of no contest. By pleading no contest, you didn't admit what happened. You also did not deny what happened. You allow or accepted that a conviction would enter. At that time, I asked for the police report, photos, medical information, and victim input. Are you Samantha Wells?
yes, sir.
All right, why don't you come have a seat right up here? Thank you for being here. Miss Wells, you weren't here at the time of the plea, I don't believe. This was reduced to a misdemeanor offense that was punishable by up to a year in jail. He pled no contest, and I used the police report or a affidavit of probable cause for the factual basis. I did ask for the police report and the photographs. I did get the police report, the medical report, but I never got the photographs. In fact, the prosecutor said, we never got the photographs, which it seems like they would have been interested in seeing them themselves, because the police report indicates there were a number of photographs that they took and that Mr. Maciosi took, one of himself, and Ms. Wells, I think, took some. So I'm disappointed that I don't have them, and B, that the prosecutor never even looked at them. At any rate, Mr. Maciosi has an assault history that goes back to the 90s. Some other baggage resulted in several other felony convictions. Now this circumstance where by pleading no contest, he acknowledged that he choked her. She did go to the hospital, and the medical report would indicate that she had a concussion. This is a disappointment. Samantha sent numerous photographs she had taken of herself on April 20th to my department issued cell phone. I then took additional photographs of Samantha, and Nicholas sent me a photograph he'd taken of himself. None of that was in the file, and apparently the prosecutor never looked at them. Mr. Felt, what would you like me to know here?
With respect to allocution, Your Honor?
Yes, please.
Well, first of all, I was hoping we could somewhat overlook all the other history here and focus on what happened, the immediacy of what did happen here. I'm going to say to his credit, and I think really to the credit of both parties, it seems they've resolved to move away from each other and move on their own separate ways. Nick's description to me makes it pretty clear, at least his version, is it seemed to be a pretty volatile, potentially volatile relationship that was prone to evolving into more what he described a mutual combat situation. It may have been more one-sided simply because of his health, strength, and conditioning, but I don't know. A boxing match, you can't really describe a boxing match in terms of an assault and self-defense or a wrestling.
Well, he can't really plead no contest and then come in here and say, Judge, I really didn't do it.
We're not saying he didn't do it.
All right.
But again, it's all I was getting at was a boxing match can't be cast in terms of an assault and self-defense, or a wrestling match in terms of an assault and self-defense. It's a mutual fray. So he's not denying he assaulted her. And again, I want to be careful here, Judge. I want to make it clear. I'm not trying to minimize what happened. And, having just said that, though, as you pointed out, the next thing I want to say is, but. So I just want you to understand where I'm coming from is he views it seems to be a mutual kind of thing, but either way, it's volatile. And it's a good thing they ended the relationship. This one in particular, I just mentioned to the court, it happened in April, and
Yes.
Nick had the good sense to move out the next day of his own house. And he was gone for 2 months, and what prompted this, and there was no report, I believe there was no report, but what prompted the arrest 2 months later was his serving an eviction notice. So I don't know exactly what that speaks to, but Nick clearly has, again, I was hoping we could avoid the history, but it's hard to ignore a tattoo when it's right there in your forearm looking at you. He does have a history, and I will say to the court, Nick is more than willing and interested in the opportunity to take domestic violence classes. Instead of the punishment of going to jail, he'd rather have the opportunity for some insight here to improve his behavior. And I can't think of a better way than the domestic violence classes. Now, if Your Honor thinks there's more punishment needed than that, then perhaps we'll do whatever you say, of course. Nick is overall just glad that the relationship has come to an end, and he wants to apologize to the court and to the victim for his part in it. I'll make that clear.
Mr. Maceo, so you have a right to tell me what you want me to know. Is there anything you want to say?
Yeah, I am sorry for all this stuff. I'm sorry for the fighting. I'm sorry for everything that happened. And I wish I could take it back. Can't.
This moment changes everything. The judge confronts the reality that hospital visits, delayed reporting, and fear kept the truth buried. Medical records confirm concussion symptoms weeks later. The question now isn't whether something happened, but how a felony strangulation case was reduced so quietly. Should fear ever silence justice, or does the system fail victims here?
Miss Wells is here. I'm glad you're here. I'm sorry I didn't get to see the pictures.
I have them. Would you like to see some?
Yes.
They're all from multiple occasions.
All right. Now, this incident that he's charged with occurred on April 20th. According to the police report, you went to the hospital on April 20th, and the hospital called the police. And the police came to see you at the hospital, and you downplayed the whole thing and said, hey, nothing really happened. Is that true?
Yeah.
All right. Then in June, some other things occurred, which caused you to be fearful, and then you told the police about what happened on April 20th. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And these pictures are from April 20th?
Some of them are from April 20th. Some of them are from prior.
This one with the big black eye, when is that?
That was in November 10th.
Here's some with bruises all over your backs of your legs. When is that?
That one was, does it say on there, Your Honor? It should say like the date.
Monday.
I can't remember if that was, I believe that one was the 20th, the April 20th one.
All right. Now, here's some pictures of injuries on your face.
April 20th.
April 20th.
There's one on the side of my head where he stomped on my head.
All right, and these are taken at the emergency room on April 20th. All right, now, thank you. Mr. Feld, did you see those or you wish to see them?
I've seen them, yes.
All right, well, you're doing better than I am. All right, now, the police report, and to Mr. Feld's credit, I had asked for this stuff from the prosecutor, and I think they did give it to me. Let me see when that came in. At some point, Mr. Felt wanted to make sure I had it. I again asked for the pictures, and the staff told me they didn't have them, which is a disappointment. The medical report indicated that you had a concussion. Did they tell you that?
Yes.
Now, that was on May 2nd. So April 20th was the incident. Did you go back to the hospital on May 2nd?
Yeah, because I started having, like, I kept getting really, really nauseous and having really, really bad migraines. And they said if that happened, come back.
All right, so you went there on May 2nd for what happened on April 20th?
Yeah.
All right, I don't know if I have the report of April 20th. But obviously, the hospital staff was concerned enough that they called the police. Looking at those pictures you just showed me, I guess I understand why. All right, what would you like me to know?
I don't know, I guess. I don't. When I'm upset, I'm confused how somebody with his background gets charged with a felony and a misdemeanor and pleads down to a tiny little misdemeanor that might get him up to a year in jail. He just got arrested 2 years ago for brandishing a gun against a woman and her children because they wouldn't let him pass. I don't, like, it's just abuse after abuse, and it gets worse every time. I'm afraid for my life. I have to have somebody at my house all the time. His wife was just murdered from domestic violence, so
Where was that?
Chelsea Waller.
Oh my, okay.
So I feel safe with him because I'm terrified to be myself. I literally don't know. And you think that domestic violence classes is going to help somebody that's been in prison for 6 years already? If it's not me, it's going to be somebody else, and they're going to end up dead, because if I wouldn't be away from him, I probably would be dead.
Now, let me explain a couple things. I don't make the charge. The prosecutor makes the charge. And so they originally charged this as a felony. We had a pre-exam conference. Chief Assistant Joshua Robert was there, and either he or Mr. Marvin had agreed to reduce this to the 1 year misdemeanor. So that wasn't my decision, but the defendant admitted by pleading no contest. So he didn't tell me what happened. He just allowed me to use the police report to accept what happened, and he accepted that conviction. So I didn't make the plea agreement, reduce it from a life offense to a 1 year misdemeanor. As I indicated, I'd hope somebody would be here today, but they're very short staffed. Did anyone talk to you before that from the prosecutor's office?
No, I mean, they told me he had that conference, but I wasn't allowed to go. I couldn't attend it. I even got a letter in the mail saying I couldn't attend.
Now the courtroom turns raw. The victim describes threats, violence, and terror, explaining why she stayed silent. Photos show repeated injuries across different dates. Claims of mutual combat collapse under patterns of abuse. The judge sees it clearly. This wasn't one incident, it was escalation. and accountability is no longer avoidable in this room today.
Well, you're certainly welcome. So did anyone ever ask you what you thought about a plea offer in this case? Now, on the 20th, when the police came, you're there, you're in a safe place, you're all beat up. Why didn't you come clean with the police at that point?
I can't answer that. I fear, I don't know.
Well, the police report says he said something like, if you ever rat me out, I'm gonna get you, or something to that
He used to do
effect.
that to me. He's held a hammer, shoved it in my head and told me he was the devil and he was gonna kill me.
All right, well, whose house were you guys living in?
Well, it's in his name, but my children and I sold everything we owned to build a house with him because we were getting married, and so the house is in his name,
But you and he built the house and moved in together?
this
Yeah.
was like, right, I mean, the abuse wasn't horrible at this point. It started after we moved in together.
All right, well, so he moved out and then you were still there. And then in June, he served a notice to quit on you to have you move out.
Yeah, but he served it to himself.
All right, well, have you moved out?
Yeah, I'm trying to find a place. It's not very easy with
And
4 kids.
where are you? What's that address is on?
585 Hardwood Court.
Yeah, Hardwood. Where is Hardwood Court?
Out by the high school.
Okay. So it's in his name, you and your kids are living there and you don't have any joint children. And he's living somewhere else. Who's paying the light bill and the tax?
Him right now.
All right, so you're living there rent free, I guess, but at some point that's gonna come to an end.
Yeah.
I don't have a good answer. As I indicated, I hope to get some input. He said he was sorry, wish the whole thing would have happened. But I do get the sense that this wasn't one thing. This was a pattern of a thing. And the photographs from the 20th certainly support a serious injury. He acknowledged through his plea that he choked you. That's where the strangulation, assault, great bodily harm comes in. You also had a concussion, which would go to an aggravated assault. That's an assault with a serious injury, like a broken nose or, but in the pictures I saw, and the problem is, I don't know which was which dates. I saw bruises up and down your legs. I saw cuts in your arm. I saw a number of serious injuries on the 20th to your head and face and neck. This isn't mutual combat. This is you getting your ass beat is what it is. I'm going to order 181 days in jail. Credit 1, leaving 180 days to serve. I'm not going to give you domestic violence treatment. You're either going to get it or you're not. I'm not doing a probation. There is 0 fine. There's a $75 crime victims' rights fee and $50 state minimum fee. It's $125 or 2 additional days in jail. This is a no contest. There isn't any way to put lipstick on a pig. This is bad. And what you deserve is to be punished. So you can go with the officers. You'll get good time. If they make you a trustee, you'll be out less than that. He gets 5 days a month credit. So 180 days becomes about 150. With trustee time, it could be out sooner than that. But right now, you're in a precarious position of living in a house in his name without paying anything. So you should try to make an effort to get out of there sooner rather than later. All right, Mr. Maciosa, you're good to go.
Your Honor, he's going into custody right now.
Yes, he is.
Thank you, Your Honor.
It's easy. Unless you're gonna be a problem. Like this. Don't.
All right, thank you for being here.
I do have my,
Your Honor, do you have any idea or notion if work release would be available to protect his job?
The answer is no, so he's just going.
The judge delivers a blunt sentence: 180 days in jail, immediate custody, no probation, no treatment deals. A clear message: domestic violence has consequences. This ruling closes the case, but the damage remains. If you value real courtroom truth, like, comment, share, and subscribe for more unfiltered judicial decisions and powerful legal breakdowns you need to see.